Morning. New year, new me.
Here we go.
Talk. Wait. Come on.
Look.
Go there early. So I can fade into that.
Get your catches there. Game stops. Now, nothing moves until you say so. Let's go. Bring it in.
This competitive spirit we need moving forward.
Training camp, we out.
It's almost time for the real games to begin. Season tips off tomorrow. But first, let's go coast to coast around the association. First up, we head to Sacramento where Russell Westbrook spoke to the media for the first time since signing with the Kings. Let's take a listen.
You know, honestly, man, I haven't been in practice yet, and I haven't been able to kind of get on the floor, but things will find its way and figure it out. My job is to be able to come here and find ways to be able to help the organization, help the team in any way I can, and I'll do that.
This is your 18th season. Is it possible this is the last year in the league for you?
All right.
Yeah, there it is. Russ had himself a weekend. Not only did he recreate his famous meme, but he joined his new teammates in the annual Kings Fan Fest at Golden One Center. Mark, how do you expect Russ to impact the Kings?
Well, they are super excited to get him. In fact, I talked to Scott Perry, the GM, today, and he said Sabonis. Remember, Sabonis played with him in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Zach and DeRozan, fought to get him on this team in July. So also B.J. Armstrong worked with him at Wasserman. He has some great relationships there. And they really expect Russ to add some intensity to this team that's much needed.
All right, moving on to Milwaukee, where the Bucks held their annual open practice over the weekend. Giannis was in midseason form, throwing down several monster dunks. After practice, he talked about how good the Bucks could be this season. Let's check it out.
We're going to be a problem. We're going to be a problem. We're going to be dangerous. The team is set up in a way that is very, very dangerous. We have a lot of shooting. We have a lot of playmakers and ball handlers. We have a lot of defenders. You know, we can switch. We have an incredible big that can space the floor and be a problem defensively. We are set up exactly how you need to set up to make a statement.
So Giannis sounds confident in his squad, but Ramona, how much of a problem will the Bucks be for the rest of the East?
Look, I bought a ticket on the Amtrak going to Milwaukee a little while ago. It was not as expensive, but I agree with Giannis. I think they're going to be better than people think. I like the Miles Turner acquisition. I like everything they did in the offseason except the fact that they're not probably good enough to get out of the second round. But all that said, I like that he's saying this because he's speaking it into existence. He's trying to set a tone for this team. He's saying, this is what I think. I'm trying to tamp down on some of the off-season speculation or maybe in-season, depending on how they do.
All right, let's head back to college where freshman phenom A.J. Daniels scored 30 points in BYU's 90-89 loss to Nebraska. This was only an exhibition game, but Mark, you've been around him for a couple of years. What can you tell us about A.J.?
Must-see TV.
Wow.
Follow him. I talked to a scout recently. He said he went to one of his practices, and with all due respect to Darren Peterson at Kansas, he said, how could you not draft him number one? It's too big, too strong, too competitive, and the sky's the limit for this kid.
He had 30.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals on 10 of 19 shooting, and over a dozen scouts there as well for A.J. Daniels. We've got a developing story here on NBA Today. Our Charania reported Christian Brown has agreed to a 5-year, $125 million rookie contract extension with Denver. Shams, what more can you tell us about how this deal got done?
He's their starting shooting guard, their three-point shooting that he brings to the table, and he led the league in fast break points last season. Those are all the reasons why they want to keep their homegrown player locked in for the foreseeable future. And their two top executives, Ben Tenzer and John Wallace, they felt it was important to reward him, take care of him, because you think about his fit in that core of Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, now Cameron Johnson coming in as well. They feel like he's an ideal player there. It was very important for them to lock him in. He was part of that 2023 championship team. He didn't have the role then that he does now. They expect another jump from him as really a 40% three-point shooter annually now.
And the Blazers, they locked in 2 of their guys, Shaedon Sharpe and Tamani Kamara. What can you tell us about that?
Big commitments. $172 million total between Shaedon Sharpe and Tamani Kamara. $90 million for Sharpe, $82 for Kamara. You think about the preseason Shaedon Sharpe has already had. He looks like he's a player that's going to break out, ascend. Locking him in was important. And then Kamara was part of the all-defensive team last year. he was really a find. He went from the number 52 pick 2 years ago to now locking in $82 million. And so they really feel good about both of these guys being core members of this team moving forward. And that ownership change that occurred, clearly they still have faith in Joe Cronin, Chauncey Billups to build with this group. So this is the full list of extension players still on the board. One player I would not expect an extension with is Tari Eason here. I just received that in the last 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see. There's still some time left. Detroit's players, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, seem unlikely as well. Ben Mathurin seems unlikely. Jeremy Sohan seems unlikely. Walker Kessler won't be happening. Peyton Watson, I'm told, will not be happening. Just to run through a few of these.
And there's a 6 p.m. Eastern deadline for that. Thank you, Shams. ESPN experts released this season's Basketball Power Index, or BPI. It's a formula that measures the strength of a team's offense and defense, predicting future performance based on how many points above or below average a team is. Here's how the West looks like. OKC, obviously, is at the top by a significant margin, followed by the Nuggets, the Rockets, and the Clippers in the top 4. Check this out. The Lakers came in at 8th, just below the Grizzlies before this season tips off. Now, health is a factor, and this shows you how important LeBron will be to their success. 8th in the West would have the Lakers likely in the play-in. So, Ramona, where do you have the Lakers in the West at this point?
A little higher than that. I mean, 8th would have them in the play-in, but I'm not sure that they're not a 6 or 7, that with 7 still in the play-in.
Right.
And it's
so close.
It depends on how they start this season, right? They have a relatively easy start to the season. Usually all their games are backloaded into the national TV games and then when you get to February and March and April. But if they get off to a bad start, if they get off to, like, let's say they go 6-18 or something before LeBron James comes back from this back injury, things could get really yucky for them. But they also are built around Luka Doncic now. And, if they get off to a great start without LeBron James, that changes the conversation in L.A. too.
Well, look, let's tackle the first part of it because, Shams, we know that the West can be unforgiving. So health, obviously, is the most important factor for this team.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm keeping my eye on LeBron James's health, to be specific, and he's been doing some more on the court over the last few days, but I would still look at mid-November as really the earliest timing for LeBron James to return. But this is someone, when healthy, top 10 to 15 player in the league. Yep. They need LeBron James if this team is going to truly contend.
And maybe we can throw that graphic up again. But, Mark, you saw the graphic a second ago. Who's being slept on in the West?
There's some shade in Minneapolis, man.
Okay.
Shade in These guys have been to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. Ant-Man, are you seeing this, Ant-Man?
Uh-oh.
Ant-Man, Rudy, are you seeing this?
Yeah.
McDaniels, Conley, y'all being disrespected. That's something that they need to have on their bulletin board every day when they walk in.
Right, back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances.
Yeah, and now you got them 5th. I'm really curious to see.
Clippers are
if the
pretty high
Timberwolves-
in this, and I think the Warriors are a little low.
They went to the West Finals 2 years in a row, and they're 5th. That's shade.
Okay.
I want to, but you know what?
What?
Prove us wrong.
Yeah, right. We'll see.
Prove us wrong.
I actually think the Mavs could end up being a little higher depending on what happens. What happens here? Now we have breaking news here. So Shams, what do we got?
Dyson Daniels, the Hawks' two-way stalwart guard. He was the defensive player of the year, runner-up, all defensive first team, as well as the most improved player of the year. He's reached agreement 4 years, $100 million rookie contract extension. His agent, Daniel Moldeman, tells me here today. And so he becomes the second player to reach a rookie contract extension today. I think the number is 8 in total as of right now. Christian Braun earlier agreed to a 5-year, $125 million deal. Now Dyson Daniels. Think about the success he had last year next to Trae Young.
Yeah.
They acquired him in the DeJounte Murray trade, and now here a year later. In New Orleans, he was injury-plagued. He was going through ups and downs there. He ends up having an injury-free year last year, plays at a tremendous level defensively. 3 steals per game. Off the top of my head, I don't know when the last time, I think, I had it in front of me. Been a while. Yeah, Gary Payton, the last guy to have as many steals.
That's the number, though, isn't it? $25 million. Everybody's getting $25 million a year.
And by the way, he said, there might have been like some voodoo or something, or a curse going on in New Orleans. Those are his words, not mine.
I'm on fire. It's NBA, it's